Hello YouTube, Phil/Polygoing here again, and this is episode 10 of the channel. Big 10, hooray, double digits! And you know, episode 10 doesn't really find us doing that much different. We are still playing some Dark Souls. I'm still rocking my Lion build, my Leo Ring Lucerne combination. I'm still in Ulsil Township. But I thought it'd be kind of fun on this one to do another grab bag episode, just sort of a motley collection of non-specific but I don't know, always relevant topics concerning PvP. And a couple things that I've been thinking about are these advanced tier weapons. You hear that term still thrown around a lot, and I wanted to talk about transparency in YouTube videos and talk a little bit about revenge. Because guys, my heart is breaking. I got my first dislike. Here we go, episode 10. Now, I kind of feel like 10 episodes is a milestone in a young channel's life. So permit me to get a little bit mushy just for a second. I wanted my intro to play, and I wanted my disclaimer about adult language to flash so that nobody is shocked when I say that you guys are fucking awesome. In all sincerity, thank you so much for participating and liking and subscribing and disliking in some cases, but especially thanks for the comments, man. I have learned so much, and I feel like there's some great back and forth going in the comments section, and I gotta tell you, man, there are some dudes dropping knowledge that makes me feel pretty stupid, and that's fine, because regarding Dark Souls, I'm pretty stupid, but it's all in the spirit of learning and improvement, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. We're 10 episodes deep, so let us press on with episode 10, more Dark Souls PvP grab bag. All right, let's talk weapons for a little bit. You can see I'm rocking the Lucerne, having a little bit of success with it. And I've spent some time in prior episodes talking about weapon selection, especially around like the best weapon. And I am one of those guys that subscribes to the theory there is no best weapon. The best weapon is a weapon that you're comfortable with, that you like, and that fits your playstyle. The example I gave in the past is I will always take the scimitar over the falchion, even though the falchion is longer, even though it has 2 extra points of base damage. I'm not a big min-max guy, and I think the scimitar just looks a hell of a lot better than the falchion. But that Lucerne, man, ooh, Leo ring. Thanks, Leo. I understand this is terrible timing because I'm talking about the Lucerne against a clip where I'm using the halberd. I'll talk about the halberd too, but man, old Lucy is a harsh mistress. It is slow. There's a wind up on all of your attacks, and it does not seem to have the phantom range that the halberd has. It definitely doesn't have the phantom range that the claymore has, or another, other popular choices that people often rock with the Leo ring. And it is taking a lot more finesse to use this than I initially anticipated. Out of the gate, I thought I was going to whip out a Lucerne, put on my Leo ring, tank a couple hits, and just shred people. That is so far from the truth. I got parried into oblivion. There was a episode a couple back where I introduced this build, and I went out there and just made an ass of myself with the Lucerne. I was just looking terrible. And it has taken a good 5 days of pretty solid playing to kind of get my spacing down, get my timing down, and you have to be pretty selective when you attack. You have to be predictive when you attack, and I think that's why you don't see a lot of Lucernes out in the PvP arenas. Oh, really? This guy just pops a divine blessing. I remember this clip now. You'll have to pardon me while I go into murder mode. Popping divine blessings is just something I cannot stand. Oh, look, he's gonna have another one. Have a little piece of candy. So yeah, I got pretty cheap with this guy, and I hate feeling myself resort to these kind of tactics, but okay, so I'll take my first tangent of the grab bag episode, and I will get back to the Lucerne. But it always makes me question what other illegal items these guys might have, right? Because the bottomless box glitch is gone, the dragon head glitch is gone, any of the means for acquiring 99 divine blessings is completely gone. And even if you did have legal ones, and I refuse to believe those were 2 of the 7 legally acquired ones or legitimately acquired ones in the game, just makes me wonder, what else might this guy be doing? Is he rocking some plus 15 Havels? Is he rocking, whatever modded items? And I just don't want to be a part of that. I think divine blessings are kind of frowned upon in the PvP community anyways. I don't need to say anything about that. That's been hammered to death across the board. So back to the topic oh no, not back to the topic at hand yet. Here was one weird invasion where this guy just wasn't around. He was either PvEing or he went down to take on Chester maybe, Or he thinks he's super clever, hiding around that corner, waiting to Wrath of the Gods me off as I come down the steps. But I was just looking for duels. I wanted no part of it, so I'm going home. Okay, tangent concluded. What were we talking? We're talking about the Lucerne. Great, we're talking about the Lucerne just in time for another Halberd clip. Nice editing, me. And why people don't use it out in the landscape more often, right? Because it's hard. It's hard to use. It is not an easy weapon to use or get the hang of. It absolutely has a learning curve. Like I said, it's slow and it's got those wind-ups on all of its attacks that broadcast your attacks from a mile away. So you are highly susceptible to parries. You are highly susceptible to parry spammers, which there seem to be more and more of these days. Guys that hit the parry button 3 times in a row. So it's pretty difficult to use. I think it's one of those things you pick up in the catacombs, maybe dick around with it in PvE for a little bit and say, yeah, the halberd's better. You might try it in PvP once or twice and say like, yeah, this thing sucks, and put it down. And it was only by committing to it, by sort of saying, okay, I'm going to live or die by my Lucerne, old Lucy, that I'm going to have any success with this build. And not that I'm great with it, but it has been pretty fulfilling to get better with this thing. And I really like how it's making me play, or what it's making me do during play. A couple of things on that note. First is that it forces you to pay a lot more attention to your opponent. Because you have to be so careful about when you attack, you're a lot more attentive to what your opponent is doing. You're trying to identify patterns a lot more actively. You're trying to time your attacks and be selective. And that's different than playing with a katana or a Balderside sword or any other kind of fast weapon where you can go out and swing a little bit sloppily and score some hits because you're so fast and because there's not a lot of time to get punished for the repercussions. This thing, I feel, has really elevated my game in terms of being predictive, being able to identify flaws in my opponents that I was just completely missing out on using some faster weapons. And I think that is one of the great qualities of this thing. And I think that is a lesson that I will take with me from the time I've spent using this build and from using the Lucerne, just in terms of being a little bit more selective, being a little bit more surgically precise with when you attack. The second takeaway, which is kind of a continuation of the first, is revenge. And actually, give me a second to pause and give this guy points for style. Check out his proper bow with the Gravelord sword and the Fury sword. Oh my god, that looks so hot. Well done. And this guy actually turned out to be a really cool cat. We exchanged some messages and he fights really clean. And I just love dueling people with this, like this. But so we had back-to-back duels. The first time he was able to cut me down, I was just a little too slow with my killing blow, and he was able to get his Gravelord sword in there and slice me up. But in terms of being an avenging spirit, you know, you fight somebody and then you lose, then you find yourself up against them again. Because the Lucerne is forcing you to be so precise and so attentive to what your opponent is doing, it makes those second go-rounds a lot more effective. You can kind of get cut down, get up, and then jump back in there and probably have a lot more success than you did the first time because you are being so attuned to the match. And that's something I really notice in the videos of these superstar players, like kind of the just badasses in the Dark Souls world. They are really predictive. They always seem to be one step ahead of their opponents. They always seem to know exactly where you're going to be, and they're there swinging. I'm not saying, please do not misunderstand, I am not close to that tier, but I do feel that using this difficult weapon, or in my opinion, a difficult weapon, moves me a little bit closer to being there someday. And I would highly recommend it. Pick up a weapon that you think sucks. Pick up a weapon that you find really difficult to use and just kind of resolve yourself to using it and see how it improves your spacing and your attack strategy and just your general gameplay and paying more attention to your opponent. I have found it to be invaluable, and I'm going to take it into all of my other builds and really feel pretty pleased with my marriage to Lucy. But pleased as I am, please note that that is a difficult marriage. That marriage takes some work. Probably like all marriages. I don't know. But based on all my prior comments, for as great as I feel a learning experience it has been, I cannot recommend this weapon. It is really difficult to use, and I think it is an inferior weapon to a lot of other things. Like this kind of thing, like, good lord, was that 8 swings in a row? You cannot get away with that kind of shit with a Lucerne, let me tell you. Okay, I'm pretty Lucerned out. I'm sure you guys are as well. So I'm going to deftly do a segue here. So deft, in fact, that I'm going to tell you I'm doing a segue and change topics. So I've been thinking a lot about transparency in YouTube videos. I guess this could be applied to all things, but I'm talking about it specifically in terms of Dark Souls PvP videos. And this was kind of stemmed from a comment I got from a new watcher, Lovejoy117. What's up, man? Thanks a ton for the comments and watching, and we'll do some more shout outs at the end to commemorate episode 10. But he left a comment basically on the video that I called out to earlier where I introduced this build, and he said, hey man, you know, great commentary. Not so sure I would have shared some of those clips in terms of gameplay. And I got it, and I remember it being pretty rough, but I was thinking, it's not that bad, is it? So I went back and watched it, and it was shit. Oh, man, that was just terrible. And that's what I was talking about earlier when I said I went out there and just made an ass of myself with the Lucerne. It was pretty bad. But I will say one of the things I have always strived for and will continue to strive for with this channel is transparency and honesty in the clips that I'm uploading. You know, I watch a lot of videos that is just win after win after win, and the uploader is kind of posturing themselves as this invincible force of nature who just goes out there and destroys everybody. And maybe I'm still too naive to get it, but I don't think Dark Souls is that kind of game. You watch Twitch streams and those guys lose all the time, or you watch some of the more honest uploaders and those guys lose all the time, or at least tell you that they lose all the time. Dark Souls is not a game about invincibility. And in terms of trying to go for that honest quality, that authentic feel to these things, if I upload a series of videos where I just look like trash, it's because I was having an off night. I was burning through 30 humanity in about 35 matches and just, ouch, chaos fireball to the chest, and just couldn't catch a break. There was just some kind of disconnect between my brain and fingers, and I just couldn't do a fucking thing. Or if I upload a series of clips where it seems like I'm holding my own, doing pretty well, getting some wins, that is true. That actually happened. Most of these are sequential. I'll pull out one here and there if it's relevant from a couple days prior. But for the most part, I'm just kind of recording as I play. So if I'm winning, I'm winning, and I'm losing, and I want to keep doing the commentary. So those just happen to be the videos that I have. And I think that's something everybody can relate to, because Dark Souls is just such a streaky game. And again, maybe it's naivete, but nobody wins all the time, do they? So I guess I'm looking for a little bit of feedback from you guys on that. Is that something that you mind seeing, the losses? Or would you rather the footage going on in the background of the commentary be much more of like a highlight reel? Because I can absolutely pull together some studio magic and just kind of showcase the gems from sessions and outings and stuff like that. Please know if that's the case. In the interest of transparency, I'm getting destroyed plenty behind the scenes. Personally, I'm a little fatigued with all the badass posturing there is going on YouTube, where, you know, somebody could have one match out of 15 that they look really good on, and, you know, play 60 matches and put together a clip of 4 matches, doing that quick math, and they're gonna just look fantastic. But I don't think that's authentic, and I'm going for something a little bit more real here, just kind of in keeping with the casual adventures in hardcore gaming. I think the losses and the slumps and the getting embarrassed is something that everybody goes through, both as a new player and in terms of the development process of wanting to get better. Hey, look, a giant dad. Oh, and he wants to give me a hug. Sorry, I was just kind of like a crow there. Oh, shiny, giant dad. But I think that's something people can relate to, and it's something that I'm striving for, like I said at the top of the video, with a little bit more of an authentic feel. I mean, the losses are part of it, and as gamers, a little late with the toggle escape there too. Good job, me. You know, we go through slumps, just like baseball players or stuff like that. There are some nights where you just can't do dick. Nothing connects. And there's been plenty of times when I will go up to PvP with somebody and get embarrassed. And then the next time you see them, you're embarrassed. It's kind of like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry about that last showing. I promise I'm better than that. then it's just kind of your responsibility to prove that you're better than that. So let me know what you think. I'd be very curious because, like I said, I'm just a little bit tired of everybody being so good on YouTube because from playing, that's not the case. You know, and even those Twitch guys lose all the time. The superstars in the Dark Souls world, or the Souls world in general, not specifically Dark, also demons. I mean, losing is part of the game. It's just a really twitchy, streaky game. And I think that's just part of it. So I'm going to try and be honest about it. Let me know if it sucks. So one last quick little deft segue into another topic. You'll notice I'm invading a lot as a Dark Moon. And just last episode, I was talking about how difficult it was to get invasions with that orb. I've actually been spending my souls from PvP trying to level up these last couple of levels. And I'm now in the range where I can get people at 125. I think I'm around 115 or 116. So I can get those high-level invasions, and I'm having a lot more success invading. So that has been a pleasant surprise. Perhaps I will retract my prior statements about the Blade of the Dark Moons. I think I'm going to wrap it on that for episode 10. So again, thanks guys so much. We'll give some shout outs to some of the guys that have participated and commented. Arkel Productions has been there from the beginning. Goo King's a big one. Tearjohn, I hope I'm saying that right. Thanks so much for the knowledge, man. You seem to know your shit. Well done. Dank Nug and Lovejoy for the recent stuff. So as always, feel free to let me know what you think. Leave some comments. I'll respond. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Either one is good feedback, and I will catch you next time. Episode 10. Here we go with the next 11.